Hello and welcome back to Check It Out. All right, my friends, you've got a Honda and it's not starting? Well, I have good news for you. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the top 3 reasons why your vehicle is not starting. We'll start today by talking about the fuses and how it might just simply be a blown fuse. For example, if you're working on your car or maybe changed out the battery, that could be it. Also, if your key fell apart like this right here, I'll explain to you that you can still start and drive your vehicle even if it is completely apart like this right here. Now, there's a trick to it, so make sure that you watch the middle part of this video to learn and understand exactly how that works. And also towards the end of the video, I'll explain to you the valet key, which I have all 3 of my keys here. If you still have that gray valet key, which is the one on the right here, that you can still drive your car. Yes, you can still start and drive your car with that key. All right, let's dive into it. First up is very common if you were just working on your vehicle, maybe you replaced the battery or you disconnected it. This is a pretty likely scenario. So that flashing green key, when you have your keys in the on position right before it starts the motor, that flashing green key should not be there. If that's what you're getting, I'm going to show you how to make it go away. Flashing green, I have the correct key. This key should work in this car. I've tried all 3 of my keys that are from the factory. They're not working. Here's what's happening. You have a chip inside this key, and you also have a reader that is inside here. And that reader is connected to an immobilization system that sits underneath your, well, kind of down by the pedals, let's just call it. And that immobilization system is a security system. That security system, when you have that flashing green light, it's telling you we don't have the right key, or at least we're not making the right connection. So I'll do it again and I'll turn my key so that 1, 2 turns. And it's supposed to flash once or twice and then it's supposed to go away. My car, it keeps flashing. If that is flashing, you will not be able to start your car. Try out both of your keys, right? If some of your keys are working and some aren't, then it's probably a key problem. But if you have more than one key and they're not working, it's probably something wrong with the car. So let's go take a look. Of course, it could be a problem with that immobilization unit. It could be a problem with the reader going around here. But let's take a look and find the easy problem. And if you know cars at all and you know easy problems, you're so happy when it's a fuse, and that is the case with this one. Here's one of the 4 fuse boxes on the Honda Pilot each door. There's this one here that I didn't even know existed. And then this is where our culprit is. And this guy is it right here. ACGS 15 amp fuse. That is the one that is dead on this car and the reason it's not working. Now, when a fuse breaks or pops like this, there's going to be a reason for it. For me, it's because I just changed the battery. Also, if you have the battery disconnected or working on your vehicle, this could be it. This guy right here, this 15. And by the way, these are spare fuses here. And you also have a couple more spares down here. That's 7.5, 10, and I had an extra 15 here. Those are all extras. And of course, you can just read it right here, and it tells you, right, spare fuses right there by my thumb, and a few more spare fuses up here. So the way, if you have this exact same car, it comes with a little fuse puller over here. Take this guy out, grab it onto that 15 right there, yank it out. And I'll kind of show you here too. There's my new one I'm going to put in. Here's my old fuse. And you can kind of see that little burnt section right there, that little burnt section there. And if you check it out with the continuity, right, you can really double check it down here. Put those 2 together. This one won't make any noise. This is my spare one that's in good shape. Grab it. Make sure if it's a 15, you got to put a 15 back in there. There it is. Kind of put it in real gently. And then once you know it's lined up right, you just kind of give it a little pressure. All right, so key back in, right? We're going to do the 1, 2 turns. And there's that green light. And if you saw it, that green light went away. The green light's gone. Yay. The number 2 most common reason why your Honda is not starting. Do you have a key that is falling apart, or maybe it completely fell apart like this one right here? I'm going to show you how you can start your car even if it fell apart on you. I'm going to explain the chip to you so you'll understand how and why that works, and how you can kind of cheat the system, start your car, and at least get home from wherever you are. And if you're low on money, then you can, I don't know, maybe you need to drive it this way for a little bit. Here's your actual key. And you can still start the car with this. Well, you can still put this in and turn it and try to start the car. But the other half the key that you need is this guy right here. This little chip down by my thumb, this little rectangular prism, if we want to get fancy on the name of our shapes. This guy right here needs to be close to or almost touching this circle where my finger is. And what happens is that chip, where my thumb is, that chip is read by this reader. And it reads it just for a second while you're starting the car. And once it reads it and says, okay, this is the right key, you're not trying to steal the car, we're going to let you start the car. But if you only use the key part, if you only put this in and try to turn it, it doesn't work. And the reason it's not working is that it's saying, we don't see the chip. We don't recognize the chip, right? Because I didn't hold it next to it. And it's saying, we don't have the chip. You're trying to steal this car. And we're going to flash that green key right there that's trying to come into focus. We're going to flash that key to let you know, hey, you don't have the right key. Hey, you don't have the right key. So here's what you do. Back it up 1-2 spots. Get your key code. There it is, right by my thumb, right? Don't hold it this way. Hold that key code right next to that circle. And turn the key while it's right next to it. It's a little bit harder one-handed. If you had 2 hands, you can see it'd be easier. It's not that big a deal. Hold this right next to that circle. Turn the key once, twice, and then right now the engine is not on, right? It's just before the car turns on, but my green light went out. So now that the green light is out, I have my chip here. I can just actually hold it away from there because the car has already read that chip. And now I can turn the key. Car starts. There's the RPMs to prove it. Yep, there we go. Okay, my friends, the third and final reason why your Honda is not starting. Did you try to go have a key made and now that new key does not start your car? Good chance if you did not go to the dealership that they did not do it correctly. You have to have 2 things programmed on that little key fob. Number 1, the transponder, the actual key fob has to be programmed. Also, the little chip that's in there, yep, there's a little secret chip in there we've talked about, that also has to be programmed to your specific car. And basically, you have to go to the dealership, maybe a locksmith, but pretty much the dealership to have that done. Here's the good news. That valet key, the gray one on the right-hand side right here, that will start your car. Yes, it will start your car. Grab that key, and I bet it works. Let's talk about it. The 3 keys that came with my vehicle. 1 valet key and 2 of these regular keys, if we can call it that. And you can see that one of my regular keys has exploded right here. And the other videos I have on here kind of explain how you can start your car if this happens to your vehicle. So let's start with the valet key. This is a really important key, and I think a lot of people overlook it. If you happen to have this key, you can still drive your vehicle totally normal. Still has the part that actually turns the ignition components, and it still has the chip that's inside here that allows the immobilizer unit in your vehicle, the fancy system that keeps your car from getting stolen. It has that chip inside here. Somewhere to where I'm pointing down in here, it has that chip. We'll talk more about that chip in just a second. Here's a regular key right here, right? It opens and closes the door. It has the chip in it, which we can't see right here. And then it has a regular part of the key, which turns the ignition components and makes your vehicle work. And so many Honda people seem to have the same problem. And I can tell that because my other video has tons and tons of views and a lot of people having these same problems. So let's make sure that if this does happen to you, your key, don't throw any of these parts away. Even though this plastic shell might look like it's kind of worthless at this point, it's probably the most important part of the whole key here. So let's walk through this and see what we can do. So this part right here, obviously we need this to turn the ignition components to the key. This is going to open and close our doors, but this guy right here is the most important part on here. This little rectangular prism is our chip. So one of the things that's confusing, asking, hey, can't I just buy a new shell like this right here on Amazon or eBay? And yes, you can. I'll actually put a link in the description below at how you can do that. And you can buy one of these. It's relatively cheap, 10 to 15 bucks. You can get a blank one like this. And she's saying, could I put the components, this part here, inside a new key and get the key cut at my hardware store? Yes, you can, and yes, you can. However, your key is not going to work in your vehicle, and here's why. This chip right here has to come along with it. So if you're saying, can I put the innards from my old key into a new FOB? Yes, you can. But don't forget, you need to put this part in, but most importantly, you need to figure out a way to get this guy right here, this chip needs to be cut out, broken out, however you're gonna get it out, taken out of here, and glued into your new FOB. And that is probably gonna be a pain in the neck. So there are some videos, there's a guy who does it on YouTube and he cuts it out and then glues it into here. And if you watch his video and you see the comments down below, it sounds like a lot of people have tried it and it does not sound like an easy process to get this chip out of there, but you can do that. So here's a couple other options you can do. So number one is you just have to have this chip. So if you wanted to just keep this guy with you and put the rest of the new stuff in a key, and when you go to start the vehicle, you're gonna have to put this little rectangular prism, the chip, right next to where you start the car. Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the neck to me. I agree with you. You could try to cut it out of here and maybe super glue it onto, I don't know, maybe the back side of the key, something like that. Glue it onto here, right here. Yeah, I don't love that. Asking, hey, how can I do this on a very, very slim budget? What would be the right way to do this? The right way would be to take this key down here, walk into your Honda dealership, have them make you a new key. However, that would probably empty your wallet by, I'm gonna guess, somewhere between 350 and 500 bucks. Maybe I'm a little bit steep on that. I don't know. If you know better than me, if you're more of an expert on these keys, hey, put some comments below and help us out. But I think you're probably gonna be somewhere 350, 400, maybe more than that. So that's what we're trying to avoid. When you go on Amazon, I see that they sell the blank FOB shell for like 10 to 15 bucks. Again, I'll put a link in the description and you can check that out. So you could do that and try to cut this guy out and put it on the outside, or inside is really where it should go, of this key. The second thing is, if you go to Amazon, they sell you a blank FOB that does have a chip inside it. But don't forget, just because it has this chip right here, when you buy it, you have to have that chip programmed. So there's two different components to this key that have to get programmed. When people are talking about programming a keyless entry system, this is the part they're talking about, right? The opening and closing of the doors. You can get a FOB and you can program it to open and close your doors relatively easy. But that's not what they're talking about as far as that actually starting your vehicle. So if you wanted to actually start your vehicle, you need this chip to come along into the new key. Some comments down below. I know it's frustrating, these stinking keys. They fall apart, they're super expensive. Hopefully we can figure out a way to help you out with that and not break the bank. All right, my friends, I hope this video helped you out. Hopefully you've got your car up and going. Hey, if this video helped you out, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.